name's John Cordy and I work in a hardware store. Obviously, I've worked there for about 3 years, and I'm working my way up to upper middle management, obviously. Welcome back to my talking about stuff that I was wrong about kind of series. If you don't know what this is about, it's basically me just trying to keep a check on the things that I've said that I was wrong about, because I think it's too common and tempting on the internet to kind of pretend that you've been right about everything. So this is my small way of trying to hold myself a little bit accountable and make the world a slightly something. So one thing that I was for sure wrong about this week, I was on a live stream and a guy called Connor, who lives near me, asked about how I would approach soloing over Sissy Strut. And I thought it was played. And Stephen Joseph, who is a guitarist you should check out on YouTube, got some really great classical playing, and also some cool videos on the HX Stomp and stuff like that. And also some cool stuff about how he's trying to get better as an improviser on electric guitar. So you might want to check out some of his stuff. Pointed out that it's actually G A to C, not G B flat to C. Anyway, but the point is that I got that wrong. I've played that song live a few times, so that's quite embarrassing. But it's always worth checking out things that you think you know how to play quite well. Certainly for me, I think your memory sometimes can do little tricks, like that obviously was happening for me. But I would play over it in sort of C Dorian. Might sprinkle in a bit of C melodic minor. But yeah, so that was something that I was clearly wrong about. The other thing that I wanted to sort of just show was I did a comparison video with some HX Stomp, Gigboard, Iridium, Hotone stuff, and it was for jazz kind of playing, and there was a Hotone Ampero preset that I put together where the compressor on it was acting kind of funny. On reflection, I probably should have spent more time sort of tweaking that, but the compressor settings were really low, so it was a bit of a strange way that it was responding. So I just wanted to this morning try and put together a patch that did inspire me to play. So I put together a Vox AC30 patch, and I'm going to drop in some of my playing now, but I thought it sounded kind of convincing and kind of how I'd expect a Vox AC30 to sound. And then there's one little trick where I put on a Zen drive, but not necessarily where you'd expect it, and that's how I'm getting the lead tone there. So if you want to try that preset, it'll be in the description, but I thought it sounded pretty good, and it did inspire me to record and play this morning, so that's what that was about. So you've just heard me playing through the Hotone Ampero on my new Vox AC30 preset, which you can get in the description if you want. And if you wanted that backing track, let me know in the comments. I'll put it up on my Patreon or on my new Bandcamp backing track. So if you don't know, I make all my backing tracks available for anyone who asks for them on my Patreon. But I also occasionally sort of put out some sort of 10 backing tracks together so that people can buy that on Bandcamp if they don't want to support me going forwards. So there's a new one of those up if you want to check it out. I'll drop in the link. Right, so then on to one of the major subjects of the video. So this is my favourite Stratocaster that I've ever played. It's a K-Line Springfield. I'm not associated with K-Line in any way. I just really like this guitar. At the time I was looking for a Fender custom shop style guitar because I just wanted to see what it was that people were liking about those kinds of guitars. You know, obviously they got a high price tag on them, and you wonder, or I've wondered, is there a difference between some of these really expensive guitars and some of the less expensive guitars? And I heard about K-Line, read up a little bit about them. You know, it's made by a guy called Chris in America who makes all the parts at this stage. So it's kind of that kind of Fender custom shop vibe. But I was able to get this for £900 second hand in the UK. I think I was kind of lucky. But also it's kind of my favourite Strat. I've got a friend called Jake who lives nearby who's also got a Fender custom shop, sort of similar looking to this. Very similar feeling guitar, slightly thicker neck, but really nice. And I've got a friend up north called James, and he's got a Fender custom shop Strat, kind of the Dave Gilmour whitish kind of vibe, but that was awesome as well. So I have touched a few Fender custom shops, but not many. Why am I telling you this? Not sure. I don't have a thing against cheap guitars, is basically, I guess, the gist of this. Because I've got this Squier J Mascis that I bought. Is that how you say his name? Maybe. And I was really, really impressed with that guitar. I've been really impressed with this guitar. And obviously this is a relatively cheap guitar, expensive for a Squier I guess, but not expensive for a guitar in general. And one of the things that I really like it is the neck. Now someone else is going to know for sure way more about this than me, but I think it's roughly based on a Rory Gallagher neck. I could be wrong about that, but it's something that I've read somewhere. But it's kind of similar to the K-Line neck. It's not thin. It's not massively thick, but it's like a full kind of C feeling in your hand. I like to, if I can, bring to the channel kind of guitars that are cheap or not super expensive, but also still inspiring. Because I know obviously there's loads of channels which will review kind of £3,000 guitars and stuff. But for me, I can't generally afford that sort of thing. So I like to, if I can find something that is inspiring and musical and makes me want to create music and it's less than £500, I guess that's kind of a win for me. And also I can bring it to the channel and say this is a thing that I would recommend. With that kind of thing in mind, I bought this Squier Simon Neil, I think, Strat. I think he's a guitarist from Biffy Clyro. Again, it's not one of these things that I know a lot about, it's just I read that it was quite a highly regarded Squier. If you look at it, it looks amazing, I think. Got a nice kind of flame maple neck. This one has. Don't know if you can see that. It's kind of got a bit of flame to the neck. Anyway, I think it's a really nice looking guitar. The only thing that I would say about it is the neck feels a little bit uninspiring to me. So the only issue I have with this guitar really is that the neck is a little bit slim for my preference, but that doesn't mean that other people wouldn't get on with it. I guess I personally prefer like a medium C feeling neck, I think, whereas this is, I think the Classic Vibes use a slim C, which does to me feel a little bit not exactly what I'd go for. So I was sort of wondering maybe I should try putting a J Mascis neck on this and see if that makes a difference. If that's an experiment that you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments. It's something that I'm open to trying, but I don't necessarily want to do it if it's not interesting to anyone. But aside from that, I think this is quite a cool guitar for less than £300. So yeah, that was something that I thought might be vaguely interesting to people. Is it interesting if I tried to find guitars that I think are decent but don't necessarily cost a bomb? Because again, I know there's like that sort of, you see these videos which are like a £500 guitar compared to a 5,000, and I'm not sure that that's kind of the lane that I want to go down, but I would be interested to see, I think, if I can find guitars that are cheap-ish but are still inspiring as instruments. So I think this one almost makes it, and perhaps if I tried changing the neck, that it could be something that I would recommend. But let me know if that would be interesting. To me, it feels more like something that I would play than some of the kind of the American standard stuff, which to me doesn't necessarily feel loads like a Strat because of the 2-point trem stuff, and so this definitely doesn't feel to me like a £300 guitar, but the neck is not exactly what I'd go for. I think it sounds like a Strat, which is a cool thing. So yeah, if that is of interest to people, if you want to see me put a J Mascis neck on this guitar, let me know in the comments. Maybe that would take it to being a guitar that I actually would want to pick up and play quite a lot. I think that would be cool if I could find guitars that are kind of underneath the £500 marks, but that I could say, look, I could happily gig this guitar if I was gigging. The J Mascis fits into that category. Some of the Rev Stars that I've got, I got for less than £500, and I could definitely gig those. So maybe that's an interesting sort of lane to go down. But let me know in the comments if that is. So I'll catch you for another one of these soon, and maybe I'll do a video at the end now with this guitar. If you are liking what I'm doing on the channel, maybe you could like and subscribe. I'm trying to make it interesting.